What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm back here at Mercedes-Benz of Bonita Springs, checking out this brand new 2023 Mercedes-Benz SL43 AMG. Love the color, love the fact that it is a convertible. Also, this is the first time ever where the SL gets a 4-cylinder engine, and it's exciting because it's a brand new motor designed with the same technology as Formula One. And today, I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to start right up front, obviously pop the hood, talk about it, then walk around and talk about the features, end up on the interior, and then the end of this video we're gonna go for a drive together. Now, if that's something that interests you, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. It really means a lot to me if you hit that subscribe button, give me a like. And now let's get back to this. Mercedes-Benz SL has been around and they had several different generations of it. Now, some of them were better than others. Now, the last one before this one was not my favorite one, to be honest with you. This definitely looks a lot more aggressive. Now, Mercedes redesigned it for 2022 model year, but they were only available with the SL55 and the SL43, both of which vehicles cost north of $150,000, some of them over $200,000. So this made it unapproachable for a lot of people. Now they decided to bring this to United States, which is the SL43 with a starting MSRP just over $110,000, and we'll get into details of what that includes. But let's start with the exterior details of this brand new vehicle. First of all, I love this hyper blue metallic color. It really pops, and that's what you want when you're buying a sporty convertible, right? I love the lights on it. They have this so special Mercedes-Benz eyebrow signature of it, and inside of them, these are the active lights, and I'll show you that once we get down to the garage of how they operate. They look pretty cool, very nice and bright. Below, you have a lot of air intakes, right? There are a lot of places for the air to pass through, and that includes this super aggressive grille with the vertical fins right there, big Mercedes star logo behind which a lot of the safety technology hides, and right on top you have this AMG badge. Now, before we open up the engine compartment, let's take a look at this bottom portion right here. Very aggressive front fascia, front splitter right at the bottom. Then again, that looks pretty cool. Well, let's see what powers up this thing. You guys, the hood opens nice and tall. I don't even have to help this. And underneath here, you'll find this handcrafted 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. You can see it's a 4-cylinder. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 AMG on one side. There's a signature of a technician who put this all together by hand. And what's so special about this engine? Well, first of all, let's take a look at the specs. 375 horsepower, 354 foot-pounds of torque. Now, this is a turbocharged engine. There's something special about this turbo, and that is an integrated electric motor inside of the turbo that keeps that boost pressure constantly on, so that reduces the turbo lag even when decelerating or braking, so it's always ready to go. So it helps with performance, it helps with acceleration. Now, 0 to 60 on this vehicle is rated at about 4.8 seconds, which is really nice for a 4-cylinder convertible. Let's take a look. You have a little bit of a heat insulation, sound insulation right here. You have the double latch right here. Oh, and one important thing to mention, of course, is a transmission, and this is the 9-speed automatic MCT speed shift transmission on this one. I can't wait to take it for a spin. Well, the SL is definitely a luxury convertible, but for many years they had different options for people who wanted to get into this style vehicle without breaking the bank. So they had, of course, the SL43s and the SL55s, but they also had the SL500s, they had the SL400s, which made it more affordable, and this is basically what it replaces. So this is the least expensive Mercedes-Benz SL that is available. Let's take a look at some of the design elements. First of all, I love the styling. It's definitely a lot more aggressive than the previous generation one. I love the front end, I love the side. We're going to check it out a little bit in detail here. So starting with the wheels, what we have here are the 19-inch rims. I love the multi-spoke design, AMG rims. We have the Pirelli P0 tires on them, and behind the rims you can see the calipers and the huge rotors that are peeking through for that extra stopping power. On the side right here you have the turbo electrified badge. That's what I was talking about this electric motor inside of the turbo. Help with the spooling, or help with the boost pressure right there. Underneath here you'll have this trim, really nice piano black with some polished aluminum. The mirrors are the same colors. The rest of the vehicle on top, bottom are piano black. Has the side view camera. As you can see, the front pillars were painted black, and this one has a magic black roof. Now, as far as the door handles, same as we've seen on some of the newer Mercedes-Benz. They're kind of sticking out of the vehicle, flush mounted door handles, and it looks absolutely awesome. If with the top down as well as with the top up, which I'll show you that in just a bit. And now moving to the back, you have these nice, super bright, all LED light setup, AMG right inside of the lights. Right there you can see the multiple elements that shine really nicely. Right here, let's see, they're blinking amber, so the turn signals are amber. And then of course reverse lights right here, and then the taillights all the way there. They have the AMG on one side, Mercedes in the middle, SL45 in the back. What's important to mention, you have this deployable spoiler, and behind which you have that third brake light as well. And scrolling down here, you have the dual exhaust on each side and this diffuser in the middle. You also have the AMG on top of those exhausts. Looks awesome. Let's see if we have any room inside of this trunk. So the trunk can be opened several different ways. We're going to use the remote, which is, by the way, this brand new remote for Mercedes-Benz. You have the lock, unlock, and the trunk opener. And once it pops open, right on top of here, you'll see several different buttons. This is to close it, this is close it and lock it. You also have the emergency release button from the inside in case you get locked up in here, although I don't think anybody would have any room in there. And this, I believe, is to lower the cargo compartment right there. Now this is with the top down, but there's really no difference if the top is up and down. As far as the cargo room, you have some goodies in here. Let's see if we have a spare tire. No spare tire here. You have a fix-a-flat underneath here, and maybe, but I doubt it, you can fit a set of golf clubs in here. You do have a speaker in here, so that's, this subwoofer probably is going to sound really good. Let's close it up. And before we get inside, I just want to show you how the lights look when they're on, actually. And I'm going to show you that from the interior. See if we can make them dance on this wall behind me. But it looks pretty cool. And overall, this is how this vehicle looks with the top down, which is really, really nice. Almost a coupe-like convertible. Here's your back lights. One other thing before we get inside is to check it out, is the sound of the exhaust, of course. Let's do it. Well, this was how the exhaust sounded. Now let's check out the sound of the closing door on this SL43. Boom. Nice, solid thud right there. Let's take a look what we have. and the door panel right here. So you have the MANUFAKTUR stereo, you have the seat control, so you also have the memory seat settings, and of course you have the window middle lock controls, and that's where you can open your trunk from here. As you get inside of this vehicle, you have this illuminated AMG logo right on that door sill right there. And let's see if we have any room in the back. It does have 4 seat belts. The seats in the back though are super small, as you can see. I have some of my gear there, and that's about what can fit in here. Maybe a very small adult, but that would require the driver and passenger to be pushed up almost against this steering wheel right here, which would not be very comfortable to drive. So let's just say that this is a 2-seater vehicle with the 4 seat belts. Well, let me jump inside. I'll show you this beautiful interior. So as they say, let's get this party started. You can probably hear all this noise coming from the outside. There's fans, AC going right there. Now if you close the door, boom, nice, quiet, almost library quiet. That's where you start this car. So let's press this, pay attention to the lights and see how they dance right on that wall in front of us. Pretty nice. See that adaptive lighting, that's a standard equipment on this vehicle. And let's take a look and see what else we have. Let's get this fan down just a bit so you can hear me talking. Beautiful illumination on the interior. Mercedes-Benz is known for the ambient lighting, and it's 64 color scheme on the inside. You can change it to whatever you want. You can change it to single color, double color, however you want to do it. Right on top you have this leather wrapped dashboard right here. This is the real deal Burmeister stereo. One of the speakers right here. What I find a little strange is the design of this right here. You'd almost think that this would be needed. This roof over this instrument cluster would be needed, not to have the glare on it, but I haven't really found any problems looking at this. I'm going to show you that in just a bit. But first, let's take a look at the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is a typical new generation AMG steering wheel. So you can see you have those double spokes on the sides. Not a huge fan of the piano black, but you know, it is functional. It is what it is. That's what they chose. Like behind it, this is a sports car, so you have the downshift, upshift, so you have the pedal shifters, nice aluminum. This is cold to the touch. Mercedes-Benz logo right in the middle, and on this side you control what's going on in the instrument cluster, and on the other side you control what's going on in the infotainment system. Now below that, this is basically your settings for the cruise control, adaptive cruise control. On this side you have the volume, phone button, favorite button, and down below we have the settings that you can choose. As far as the drive modes, this is where you set it up. So you have the slippery mode, individual, sport, sport plus, you know, and the individual, of course, you can customize the way you like it. Now once I hit it in sport plus, you can see that we have 2 settings on the other side. One is the control of the spoiler in the back, which right now is deployed, and this is the control of the exhaust. So now we have this sporty exhaust note. If it's in red, if it's in blue, it's normal. So we're gonna leave it in red, and we're gonna drive it in that mode when I take it for a test drive in just a bit. Really nicely designed. The steering wheel is just the right size. I sit fairly far from it, so, and I can still, you know, be comfortable in this vehicle. I'm 6 feet tall, so no shortage of room here. Now as far as the instrument cluster, several different displays are available for you. This one being the sport display, but you can also have the, this was the super sport. You can have sport, classic, understated, navigation, assistance, and service. So that's what's available to you in this instrument cluster. Actually, I think I like this super sport, right? That gives you everything you need. Speedometer right on top. It also has this sign reading sensor, and then you have on both sides you actually have the tachometer. So as I rev it up, you can see how it goes up. It's pretty cool, right? Vehicle's got 12.2 miles, right, or 19 miles, 12.2 on the current trip. And then let's see what else we have. Reset trip odometer. Well, let's do that to 0. What else we have? We can do several different options here in the middle. Here's your G meter. This is your settings right now. So dynamic engine, Pro AMG dynamics, powerful exhaust. You have the traction control that's on, and the dynamic transmission. Here's your temperature, for the gears, basically. Let's go back here for a second here. So here's your oil temperature, coolant temperature, and gear temperature. So this is important as you drive it hard, right? Don't overheat it. Here's your navigation if you just want to, you know, cruise around. Here's your radio. And right now it's burning 0.48 gallons per hour. And that's a strange way of looking at it, but that's how it is. And then of course different settings or different displays have slightly different settings in here. But let's move on here. First of all, as far as the design, I just want to point out, I love these round vents in here. And what's interesting about those too, right now the vehicle is cooling off, but if I hit the temperature up, you can see that this will turn red just to indicate that we're heating up the car, right? Blue for cold, red for hot, and that's what's demonstrated in here. Then behind here, this is the engine start stop button. That's where you also turn on or off this electronic engine start stop feature. If you don't like it, you can turn it off. Here's the newest generation of this Mercedes-Benz MBUX. I'm gonna get this volume down all the way because I can hear the radio basically to the side. Now there's also display angle, see? We can move it up or move it down depending on the way you prefer watching it, which is pretty neat, right? Also, this is the floating icons design, so the latest used features are going to be on top. This is that zero layer design, and that just tells you of how to do it. So this is the direct access. So let's say let's go. You have everything right on top. But anyways, well, let's go back to the home screen. Right on top, it's your navigation. Hello, where do you want to go? And you can choose from the previous destination, gas station, parking spaces, alternative routes, etc. So this is for your navigation. Now the main home screen would be this, and this will basically give you access to all of the settings and features that this Mercedes-Benz has to offer. And I've talked about it before. This is a very, very sophisticated system. I think it's the best in its class. So you have the settings for your vehicle. Just give you a few examples. This is your assistance. So you have your driving assistance. So you have the DISTRONIC, which is the adaptive cruise control, basically, active steering assist, collision avoidance. These are all on. The vehicle active brake assist, lane keep assist, blind spot assist, attention assist, camera. See, open camera cover right in the back. That's where it's at. We're going to look at that rear view camera just a little bit. Parking. So parking space and camera image. It does have the parking assist as well, and also hit this 360 and kind of go around the vehicle and see where all of the assistance features are. You tap on here. So this is your driving assistance. You tap, let's say, on right there, and this is your voice assistant, so that tells you whether this feature is on or off. You really, like, I encourage you to spend some time with the person who's selling you the car to go over all the features on it. I know a lot of Mercedes dealerships have dedicated staff to spend time with you to make sure that you know how to use it, and then come back for a refresher, because that's a lot to handle. But I like it. I think it's plenty of features that you find very useful. Now, you know, as far as the seats, you have the seat kinetics, lumbar heating settings, automatic seat positioning, reset. This basically you adjust to your height. You put in, you have, you know, some 6 feet tall, let's say, and you know, I hit start positioning. It's going to adjust to my perfect you know, size. Now, no, it's not fit all. I find it a little bit too close, but I do like to drive it more comfortable. It says your ambient lighting, so you have the several different settings. As you can see, as I slide this around, you know, the lights inside the vehicle change to different colors. So again, 64 different colors if you choose the monochrome, but you can also choose the multicolor display, and this is going to basically kind of play the illuminations. Kind of, this is a combination basically between the red and the blues, and you can see where which color is displayed right on this little screen. But we went through that before on the different Mercedes-Benz. So let's go back. Phone settings. Now you can connect to your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. This is wireless connection, which is a great feature. I should probably start using the back button instead of home button. As far as the radio, so you have the FM, you have the Sirius XM. I don't see the AM here, so I guess they get rid of this function right here. And let's get this volume down again, since I got that feature down. Let's hit the mute button and go back. You have the media performance, so it is a sporty vehicle, so you can see all the settings for the vehicle. Now this is as far as the engine. You can see the engine torque, power. This is interesting. I think I'm gonna use this on. And then you have your IWC clock. I don't know if you remember some of the higher end Mercedes AMG models had the IWC. You know, here's your start stop, you know, as far as, let's say, a timer. If you want to do, you hit the reset. Pretty cool, nice feature on it. Here's your consumption, 2.4 miles per gallon. Obviously this vehicle has been idling for the most part. I've never seen this IWC before on the new Mercedes, so this is a super nice feature in here. And then of course right here, this is your engine, so this is your turbo PSI. You can see that boost right there. You have the pound-feet of torque, you have the horsepower right here, you have the temperature at the bottom, so anything that you need as far as the performance. Here's your smartphone, we already talked about it. You can set it up to Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and let's see, this is it. These are all the main features that you can access. Of course, you have plenty of different apps that you can choose from, and down at the bottom here, this portion of your screen is dedicated to your climate control, so you have your temperature settings and all the shortcuts, you know, associated with it. Here's your AMG, right? You hit this AMG button right here, and this is where you can also change the settings for some of your drive modes. So here, I don't know if you could hear that the engine just became quieter as I switched it off. Let's switch it back on. So, you know, the dynamic exhaust is definitely off, but this you can actually switch on or off. So basic, advanced, pro as far as the AMG dynamics and the S-Drive, and you can also turn on or off that exhaust in here, so you can customize it, especially in the individual settings. You can customize it the way you like it. If you like a softer ride but still get the a more aggressive note on the exhaust, you can do that too. So several different ways that you can adjust it. And down here is what we have as far as the parking assist, right? So this is your parking assistance. You have the different camera views, so let's check this out, because that's important. So the front, this is the rear camera, wide angle. This is the rear camera image. And I see if I put it in reverse, it actually turns on the guidelines right here. And as you can see from the top as well, surprisingly, this one doesn't have the top down image here, but you can choose it. So this is the different camera views that you have. And let's put it back in park so we don't start rolling. Other buttons in here, that is kind of important. This is what opens up your top. Let's see what's going on here. So can I open this? Yep, soft top in operation. Now we have no top. This is how it's done. And if you want to close it up, you go the opposite way, slide it, and another way to do it, of course, it's to hit that soft top button and hold it according to this for about 15 seconds, and we're going to be able to do just the same. Right here there's the sticker that shows you of how it's done, and then of course right next to the top button you have this vehicle. This is the setting, kind of a shortcut to several functions that are really important, you know, on the daily driving. So Parktronic, active lane, keep assist, active steering assist, tow away, alarm, block trunk access if you wanted to hit the all settings, and then it goes to the screen where we've seen before. Here's your hazard lights down here. This is your fingerprint reader, so you can program this vehicle to you know, have everything adjusted. Let's say, you know, you have multiple drivers, you put your fingerprint on it, program it, and you'll have this adjustments here. So you can turn off the display or the system with this button. This is what controls the angle of the screen right here, and then of course you have the controls of the volume. Now if you open this up right here, you have two USB type C's and the wireless charger, as well as you have your cup holders. Now this is just an armrest. This doesn't have what a lot of Mercedes-Benz have as a trackpad. So this is only basically a touchscreen. Right in the storage compartment, it's illuminated, and you have two additional USB Type-C ports. And then of course you have your glove box that's right on the side there. Nothing too special about this mirror other than it's dimmed, and it has the HomeLink system inside of it, and then nicely illuminated underneath here, this top trim right here that includes the speaker as well. And you have the emergency button and the light controls here. And as far as the sun visors, you have sun visors, no illumination, but you can take the top off, and that's going to be illuminated by itself. Now this vehicle looks awesome. Let's see how it drives. Well, if you can see a big smile on my face, that's because I'm about to take this vehicle on the road. And of course, before we do that, let's take a look and see how tight this turning is. I don't know if you paid attention when this vehicle was parked and the wheels were parked. They were not only turned like this, they were also turned like that. So this is for that best turning radius. Mercedes has been doing this for years and years. As far as I remember, those wheels were always turning those ways. And this is again empty parking spot right here. Let's see how many parking spots will take to turn this vehicle around. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and just a little bit over 4 parking spots to turn it around. And here's my favorite vehicle, another one. This is the 911, of course, and this one has a blue color as well. What's up with Florida, with Naples, Bonita Springs, and the blue colors? People like those, and I don't blame them. They're beautiful. So let's see, let's take it on the road. I have it in the sport. Let's put it in the Sports Plus mode so we can experience some of that performance that this vehicle has to offer, because I have plenty of room as far as the leg room, as far as the shoulder room. But I mean, the cabin of it is small. It's a roadster, it's a convertible, it's sporty. Even though it's got 4 seat belts, like I mentioned, it's really meant for 2 people, maybe 2 kids in the back, if they don't really require the child seats, because I don't know how you'd be able to fit child seats in the back. Well, I don't know. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way, right? You can always do that. Let's do a merge and traffic test right here. Very effortless. Love the sound of the engine. Even though it's a 4-cylinder, I can't really tell by being inside, and this is very deceiving, because a lot of people would be, including myself, I'm not gonna lie, you're like, hey, I missed that V8 power, or I missed that, well, I shouldn't say I missed the power, because there's plenty of power here, and this is more powerful than some of the earlier SL500s or even SL43s. That first one at 375 horsepower. You know, it's definitely got that power, and that turbo lag is non-existent, and that's because of that motor that's inside of it, that sits inside the turbo. Keep that boost pressure constant, so you don't have to wait for that, and that rev matching as we slow down. This is really nice as well. Again, we have that going down the gears, and you know, it's probably speaker enhanced simulated. I don't care. It sounds really, really good. Now, going back to the 4-cylinder. Now, the Formula One vehicles, which a lot of the technology is based on, they started off as a 12-cylinder vehicles and became 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder, and now they're 4-cylinder as well. 1.6-liter engine, guys. We're stopped right here. Let's hit it. Here comes the power. Boom. 60 right now. Very nice. Very nice acceleration. Now 4.8 seconds, that's on paper, this is good, but I bet that SL55 or the SL43 would be so much faster. However, one thing to mention, this is about $115,000. This particular one, I'm going to list all the equipment in the description of this video. If you were to go for an SL55 or an SL63, especially the 63, they're right around $200,000 rent, so a lot more than this. Of course, you get a lot more, but if you're looking for good power and the looks of the SL, you're getting the same looks, slightly less power for, you know, $85,000 less than the SL63. Something to consider. Of course, if you can afford it, go for the real thing. That's just my opinion, guys. But I like it. This SL55, I'm going to try to test both of them out for you on this channel, just so I have the comparison. This is the first new generation SL that I'm driving. As far as the handling of this vehicle, you can feel that it's stiff, that the chassis is really nice and sporty, especially when I put it in that Sport Plus mode with the suspension and the steering wheel tightens up. I'm going to flip it over really quick in this comfort mode for this everyday driving. It quieted down, you know, the steering wheel, you know, it's a lot lighter. I mean, it still has enough weight to keep this vehicle center, you know, if you let it go, but you know, it's not as stiff as it was in this Sport Plus mode. And once I turn it around, under the one quick acceleration, probably not from zero, but just to see off how those gears are changing, but overall, with that Sport Plus, it was really nice. Well, let's see how it's gonna be in comfort. And there we go. Oh, we're gonna have the opportunity right here. Actually, I can stop, there's nobody behind me, and let's hit it. And this is in comfort mode. It's really nice. It's a little bit less loud and it might not be switching the gears as quickly as in the Sport Plus, but definitely if you're just driving and you feel the need for speed, you can definitely floor it. And this vehicle is going to respond, and it's going to respond really quickly. So overall, a great vehicle. I think this generation is a lot more aggressive than the previous one. To be honest with you, the 2013 to 2020, you know, it wasn't my favorite look for it. It had this older crowd look, in my opinion, although you could get some of the sportier trims on the AMGs, but this one is a lot nicer. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope that you found this vehicle helpful and interesting enough to give me a like and a subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate everybody that's already done it. Again, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.